I'm Tim Malloy with Palm Beach TV and the Civic Association. Let me start by saying I'm not wearing my mask because I'm more than 6 feet away from Philip Baldwin, our photographer. And we are in Bradley Park. Let me start with this. This is not the newscast we thought we'd be giving you in mid-July. Cases in the state of Florida have raged now to almost 300,000. They are rising quickly in Palm Beach County, and Miami is absolutely on fire with COVID-19. This has obviously prompted our town council to take a hard look at what they're doing and what they should do. And Wendy Rutledge has more on that.
Right, Tim. All of this coming out of this month's town council meeting. And of course, a lot of basic town business was discussed, including progress on the big projects, including the Marina project, as well as the undergrounding project. Both of those going very well, in fact. But two big changes did come out of this meeting, and both of these changes may affect your life directly.
I think that we should open up the lake trail.
That is change number one. Council members decided that since the lake trail is virtually empty these days, due in part to the extreme heat and in part to many seasonal residents being out of town, that all limited use restrictions be lifted. That means bicyclists who had been limited to before 9 a.m. and after 4 p.m. can now ride throughout the day. Council members noted that children stuck at home due to COVID-19 could now get out and burn off some steam on their bikes during the midday. Since no significant violations were logged in by the police in recent weeks, Chief Nick Caristo was all for it.
I say to open it up with no restrictions, but then if it becomes overcrowded and becomes a health and safety issue, then I would say reinstate the restrictions.
Change number two, voted in by the town council, loosening the curfew from 10 p.m. to 11, with one caveat: food and alcohol service ends by 10 p.m. This allows restaurant workers to clean up, let patrons pay and leave, and everybody be in their cars and on their way home by 11, which puts the town of Palm Beach in compliance with West Palm Beach, avoiding confusing and conflicting curfews between neighboring municipalities. So why cut off food and drink service at 10?
I don't want to see a bar scene. That's what's caused the problem. And so my concern is that after 10 o'clock at night, then it becomes more of a bar scene.
Which brings us back to COVID-19. Bar scenes being just one of the packed indoor spaces where the virus is believed to spread.
Since your last council meeting, things related to COVID-19 have gotten worse, not better. And so as you look at the percent of positivity or the daily lab positivity, you can see that it's clearly on an upward trend. It's going up. Back when we thought that things were subsiding and we're beginning to have some control of this, that number was in the 5 to 6% range, and now we're up in the 15-14% range.
Which is putting a strain on local hospitals.
The three hospitals that Palm Beach Fire Rescue transports mostly to, and that our residents use most, are Good Samaritan, JFK, and St. Mary's. And so we always are watching those very closely. And certainly we've seen a significant decrease in bed availability in those hospitals from back in the March-April time period.
Though council members praised the responsible behavior of the community as a whole, Chief Donato reminded all of us that flattening the curve means doing the right thing.
Everybody has a personal responsibility to do everything they can to not only protect themselves, but to protect their family members, to protect their neighbors, to protect those folks around them. If you are positive, you need to, on a personal level, you need to reach out to everyone that you've been in contact with, and anybody who you might have been in contact with at least 48 hours prior to developing symptoms. And you should let them know that you're positive so that they can go get tested themselves, and so that they can also do the best they can to quarantine themselves and not expose others. If you're positive, you need to stay at home. You need to quarantine yourself in your home. You need to do not go to the grocery store. Do not go to the post office. Don't go anywhere. And to warn all those that you may have been near or around so that they can do the same. And if we all did that, then we could beat this thing.
So it's time for some sober talk from our experts in the community about personal responsibility and how to protect the public. Judy Goodman is the chairman of the Civic Association's Healthcare Committee, a long and distinguished career in medicine and the law. And let's talk to her now about one important facet of all of this.
Who has it? Who has had it? And who have they been with? Judy Goodman, a medical lawyer and law professor, says, we really don't have a good idea, but what we do know is alarming.
Our positivity rate here in Palm Beach County right now is 16%. The state of Florida generally is a little below 12%. It's 11.7%. But our positivity rate in Palm Beach County is 16% of the people who are tested are positive. It should be below 5%. So we are really getting up there, and it shows that it is spreading in the community at large. It's not, obviously we have had a lot more testing, particularly in the commercial testing labs. But that's another part of the problem, because the labs are running 7 to 10 day delays in getting results back. If you don't get the results back in 10 days, you have already gone back to work. You have already infected other people and all the people you've met for the last 12 days before you were sick. So it affects the ability of public health workers to contact trace.
In these frightening times, the expression contact tracing, reporting who you have been with when you are or were sick and infected, has become familiar.
We have functioned through the end of last week with about 44 contact tracers. We have probably 70 now because we're getting some more in, and maybe they'll get 70 in the future.
For a population of 1.2 million in the county?
Yeah, and that's way under. We have about 6 when we should have about 30 per 100,000.
There are reasons for concern. There's a large immigrant population, some illegal, who fear testing will lead to deportation. Many farm workers live in tight quarters, multiple families sharing dwellings. How do you isolate people? Where can they go?
In certain neighborhoods, they may be wary of giving their name and address. They may be undocumented. They may be concerned about their job knowing that they have had an exposure, because it would mean they'd have to quarantine and not come into work. There are people that there's a language or a cultural disconnect. So we do need people who are Spanish speaking or other languages in our community.
And then there are the people who simply ignore reporting their illnesses for privacy reasons.
There is always a stigma to any kind of illness. People don't want to be stigmatized. They don't want to make it seem that somehow they did something wrong. There is no wrong when you have a virus. The virus is being spread through the community through a great number of asymptomatic people that show no symptoms. Only Brazil and the United States have let it get out of control because we have allowed ourselves to get off message, and we have allowed ourselves to make this a partisan issue when public health has to be everybody's issue.
The contact tracing is done by telephone, and they need help, and you can help. Florida Atlantic University, where Judy Goodman teaches law, has an online course teaching you how to do it. And so does Johns Hopkins University, so you can step up and help out with this urgent process. Something nice came out of town council the other day, and here's Wendy Rutledge with more on that.
Every year, the Palm Beach Civic Association participates in a scholarship program for a child of an employee of the town of Palm Beach. And believe me when I tell you, this year's recipient is an exceptional young man.
The Citizens Association of Palm Beach and Palm Beach Civic Association is honored to present the 2020 Town Employee Scholarship to Jack Stone. His academic success, coupled with his campus and community service experiences, are extremely admirable and deserving of this recognition. Jack's professional ambition and future goals to serve the community is appreciated. We congratulate Jack and wish him continued success at UVA and beyond. We also congratulate his mother, Carolyn, and the Stone family on Jack's achievement and this award.
As you know and have felt, record heat continues to broil South Florida. Heat indexes in the range of 106 to 109 have been felt up and down our coast. That translates into very, very warm water off our shores. That translates into potential problems during the hurricane season. We've already had 5 tropical systems in this very early stage, nothing threatening us, and it looks good for the next 5 days. But we remind you, we have a hurricane special on palmbeachcivic.org, which we hope you will watch, and want you to know that we're always keeping our eye on the tropics, because on top of the COVID-19 issue, we have hurricane season right on top of us right now. Okay, it's time for our weekend wrap-up of beach and weather, and with us is Lex May, lifeguard. Hi, Lex.
Hey.
So, a little weather coming in and possibly some rip current issues?
Yeah, so we have, it's varying between northeast, east, and southeast winds.
Right.
Anytime there's east winds pushing a fetch and pushing the energy of the waves and the water towards the shoreline, it runs out of a place to go. So it creates feeder currents along the trough right there on the shoreline, and that's initially how you get the rip currents that flush back out into the ocean. So anytime that we have any east winds gusting like this, we could have little rips popping up and stuff like that. And the bigger the surf gets, the higher, that the wind is blowing,
Yeah.
the bigger the rip currents are gonna be.
And of course, we all know you swim parallel to the beach if you get caught.
Absolutely, stop, wait for help. Don't try to fight it. It's a battle you're not gonna win.
Turtles, let's talk about turtles. They're hatching now, and what are your concerns?
We've been having a lot of hatchlings. Concerns are, it's really hot outside.
Yeah.
You just got to kind of let nature run its course. We strongly advise patrons and beachgoers to not intervene with the hatchlings. Don't touch them. Don't try to grab them. We have Gumbo Limbo, and there's, Loggerhead Marine Life Center are here. They're pretty vigilant on patrol doing their job. Try not to sit next to the nests. The nests are marked with wooden stakes and pink tape around them. It's everything from loggerheads to greens, hawksbills, and leatherbacks, I'm pretty sure, are all up and down,
And
the
they're
stretch
real
of our
treasures, aren't they? These are wonderful creatures.
Oh, they're incredible. I mean, there's
dinosaurs, basically.
Yeah,
They're
to me, besides sharks and stuff like that, there's
Yeah.
nothing else like turtles in the ocean.
Yeah. All right, so final thing, be safe. Obviously, the sand is hotter than you know what.
The sand is so hot. Like I said before, wear coverings, wear stuff on your feet, pick up your service animals, stay hydrated, and just try to enjoy it, while we can.
I'm Tim Malloy at Palm Beach TV and the Civic Association, where membership matters. If you are a member, we hope you will renew with us. If you're not a member, we'd love to have you join us. We'd love to have more of you with us. And we hope you'll also watch Palm Beach TV. We'll see you soon.